Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. You understand me okay? I've been here 9 years. I've been told to still have a slight accent. But, okay. My name is Nigel Gordijk, and together with my wife, Cheryl, we organised the run that's based in New Hamburg. Cheryl, can you stand up, give the folks a wave? There you go. Stand up. Stand up, woman. God. I want to talk about your hair. Stand up. Do not adjust your set. It actually is purple. So it's all natural. She comes from a family of beet farmers. Okay. I'm a graphic designer, and I specialize in website design, and I also do social media marketing for small businesses and non-profits. I'm mostly going to be talking today about how we use social media for promoting our run and the effect it had on our fundraising. Can I see a show of hands? How many of you don't use social media at all? That's pretty good. Sharon and I moved to New Hamburg in 2007, and I first got involved with our local run in 2012, just helping out as a volunteer. In the spring of 2013, the guy who'd been organizing the event before, Steve Miller, said he needed a break, so he'd reached a point, like a burnout point. Steve had kept the run alive in our community for years when no one else was available, so if anyone needed a break, it was him, and I think he earned it. I offered to take over. And in 2012, which was Steve's last run, we had 60 participants who raised over $3,000. The next year, which is my first, we had 59 runners and raised only 1,731. So that's one person less, but a big drop in revenue. When you look back at our runners and fundraising over the years, there doesn't seem to be any correlation between how many people took part and the money we raised. Anyway, in 2014, our total jumped a little to just over 2,600. The all-time best total was back in 2001 when New Hamburg raised 3,380. And last year I thought, it's the 35th anniversary of the Marathon of Hope, and this just shows you the limit of my ambition. I thought, wouldn't it be great to set a new local record and raise $3,500? I figured the best way to accomplish that would be to attract more participants. So now this map shows you New Hamburg, which has a population of around 8,000. We're in southwest Ontario, which is about halfway between Kitchener and Stratford, if you know that part of the world. And New Hamburg is technically a settlement, and we have several neighboring or nearby settlements: Baden, New Dundee, St. Agatha, Petersburg, and Phillipsburg. They're all small communities, and none of them had their own Terry Fox run, so I thought that's where we could get more people to get involved. Together, all of these settlements form the township of Wilmot, which has a population around 21,000. So in 2014, we had our final New Hamburg Terry Fox run, and in 2015, we renamed the event the Wilmot Terry Fox Run. Everything else about the event was the same. All we did was change the name. Our first job was to start telling people throughout Wilmot who were influential online and ask them to spread the news. So this included local businesses, farmers, politicians, musicians, chefs, environmentalists, even festival mascots. Anyone with a large social media audience. So Cher and I both used Twitter and asked people to retweet the news. This shot shows you just 5 of the dozens of people we contacted who shared the news with their followers. These 5 alone have an audience of 2,000 between them. So whenever they retweeted together, we were reaching a big audience outside of our own circles. These people of influence shared the news of the name change, and later other news as well, with their own online audiences. Some of those people in turn shared that with their followers, and in that way, just the message just spread and spread and spread. But we didn't just rely on social media. We also looked for opportunities in our community to tell people about the Wilmot Run. So this is Cher at our booth on Canada Day, where the celebrations for that just happen to be in the same park where we start our run. We asked local businesses to loan us the table and tent, and the space for our booth was provided free of charge when everyone else was getting charged. So basically, we were already getting some community support there. We chatted with local people about the run and how the money was used. And we also had a toonie terry jar at different events just to collect a little bit of extra cash and to continue to get the word out there. Some people were incredibly generous. Someone told me as he dropped in a $20 bill, you'll make better use of this than I will. So that kind of generosity, again, gave us something else to talk about online. We also had a sign-up sheet, so if people could leave their contact details if they were cancer survivors and wanted to take part in the run. So that would give us people to put forward to the media to interview and share their story. Here's Cher again, another event. This is our fall fair, which is a big weekend, has a big weekend attendance. Again, this space was donated free of charge. There aren't many people out there who look like us or sound like us in New Hamburg. I mean, it's a very white community. So we tend to stand out, especially with that on your head. Because people know us locally, many would come over for a chat just to see what we were doing. And that would give us another chance to spread the word about the new Wilmot Terry Fox run. I don't know if this is the same all over Canada or even Ontario, but our Rogers Channel 20 has live broadcasts of some local council meetings. So we gave a presentation to our council about our run in July, gave a bit of history plus details of the name change and so on. I recorded the broadcast at home, edited it to show just our section of the meeting, and then uploaded it to YouTube. And then we shared this repeatedly over the coming weeks on Twitter and Facebook. Now, there's not a huge audience out there for live broadcasts of rural township council meetings. But sharing the video again and again and again online gives a potential audience of people, grows the audience that we can reach. I mean, one thing I want to emphasize about social media, we never post something just once. I always share information several times because you never know when it's going to be seen. I mean, if you think of like a car commercial on TV, you never see it just once. It's repeated different times of day, different days of the week, throughout the week for several weeks. That's what you should be doing with your social media posts as well, just to make sure you reach a wider audience. The township of Wilmot is part of the larger region of Waterloo, which includes the Tri-Cities, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, as well as the townships of Woolwich and Wellesley. Is there anyone else here from Waterloo region? No.
North Dumfries.
Oh, sorry, North Dumfries as well, of course.
Okay. We're just outside your board.
Oh, okay. There you go, see? Cheryl contacted the Waterloo Regional Police Chief, Brian Larkin, via Twitter and invited him to our run. And we thought he would just help by spreading the word for us by retweeting. But he turned up with a self-donation and his running shoes. So this was a big coup for us because we're just a small community and there were big cities that he could have gone to. And that's another lesson we learned last year. Be ambitious. Just don't be shy about asking. Some people.
So much for that pledge.
So this is Police Chief Larkin doing his best Joe Carter. And because the chief is so well known, this photo became a popular image in our post-run coverage in the local press. And we'll probably use it as a linchpin in our marketing this year as well. So Chief Larkin said he had a great time, and he's already told us that he's coming back this September. How many of you use the Terry Fox Run smartphone app? Oh, a lot more of you should be using it. It's so addictive. I mean, it's fantastic. It shows you the current online fundraising total, which is updated in real time. And I'd be tapping this thing like several times a day just to check it, see if our total had gone up, and I'd be panicking if it hadn't gone up in the past 2 hours or something. And anyway, you can use the information that you get from an app like that to put information on your online posts. So that shows you, I mean, again, if you're going to post something time and time again, this allows you to change it slightly because your total is going to be going up all the time. Both Cher and I are involved with our local Board of Trade, so we were able to get support from local businesses, such as Our Home Hardware, which flew a Terry Fox flag for several weeks leading up to Run Day. We originally asked our township council if they would fly the flag as a symbolic gesture, but they turned us down. They said all 4 of their flagpoles already had something flying, and it would be a breach of flag protocol to have 2 flags on the same pole. This is why they're known as Wilmot Township. Anyway, just going on, I'm working for a script, but I don't know if you've heard, Wilmot Township has signed up to have a project where we're having 22 statues of 22 first Prime Ministers of Canada. They're going to all be displayed on the grounds around Township Council, the building. And I couldn't figure this out. They couldn't find room to hang one flag, but 22 life-size statues. Anyway, I kept emphasizing to the council that this would be a great photo op, and it would give the township a chance to show their support for a popular cause, but that didn't get me anywhere. And I know Diane Peacock from Winton had a similar problem, but she had to actually wait until their council got voted out. So another 2 years. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cheryl's going nuts here because she ran for council last time. She lost by 11 votes. She could have kicked their ass. Anyway. And rather than wallow in self-pity, we just thought we looked for other avenues where we could find someone to help us out. And Home Hardware, bless them, they were so enthusiastic. And like I emailed them, and like 15 minutes later, they emailed me back and saying, "Yep, we'd be happy to do it, and we'll even pay for the flag." It's like I was practically in tears because it was so easy. Okay. Opportunities like that, like setting new fundraising records or someone flying the flag, that gives you an opportunity to write a press release. And then whenever something appears in the local paper, I would take a photo of it on my phone. That gives you something else to tweet. And as much as possible, I try to use photos with social media posts because they stand out more. Tweets with images are shared 150% more often than those without. And for Facebook posts, they're shared nearly 2.5 times more often if they have an image with them. I created the Terry Fox Tuesday hashtag last year and used it as we were getting closer to Run Day. Now, every Tuesday I post an inspirational quote from Terry using a graphic to make it pop a bit more. It included run details so that whenever someone shared the image on their social media, this information got shared as well. You might be able to see there's a web address there, wilmotterryfox.ca. I bought that for $10 from GoDaddy and then just basically directed it to our Facebook event page. So it's a lot easier to remember and to share on signage and so on, rather than the long Facebook URL. It's also, if it's appearing in the newspaper, it's much shorter. And it costs just $10. Now, this image shows you something that you shouldn't do. I downloaded this picture of Terry from Google and used it as a background for the quote. Now, you cannot use any photos that have copyright attached unless you have clearance from head office. So I had to stop using the photo. So what I did instead was use a photo from our previous run as the background. It may not be as eye-catching, but it gets the job done because it has an image to get that information across. Now, this is a quick ad I put together based on the graphics from last year's poster, and I did it right this time. I actually got head office to approve this. Videos and even better than static images. Oh, sorry, okay. For getting your message across. This is a short video that we made in 2014, and we included it repeatedly in our 2015 campaign. Okay.
In one word, how would you describe Terry Fox?
Determined.
Brave.
An idol.
Brave.
Courageous.
Indomitable.
Strength.
Inspirational.
Inspirational.
Hope.
An athlete.
How are you? I'm good.
Trailblazer. Courageous. Inspiring. Hope.
Perseverance. Awesome. Determined.
Inspirational.
I feel he is courageous.
The word that Terry Fox brings to mind for me is hope.
To me, the words that come to mind when I think of Terry Fox are courageous, inspiring, and emblematic of everything that we want to be as Canadians.
Okay, that wasn't one word. Okay. But that guy is Rob Feek, and he has been involved with our local Terry Fox run for years. So, like, basically, if he'd read the telephone directory, I would have included it. He's earned the right. You might think something like a video is beyond your technical abilities, but this was shot by our granddaughter, Madison, who was 10 at the time. That was her at the beginning asking the question. How many of you have young children or grandchildren? Okay, you're lucky. You all have technical support and a creative team. It's amazing what kids can do with a smartphone or a tablet. So I helped with the editing, but basically Maddie did all the shooting. Now, I've been told that I have a big head. I'm not talking about ego, I'm talking... and this can be a problem, apparently, when you're trying to pull into traffic and you can't see past your husband. And so... But with a huge head comes a huge marketing opportunity. I mean, just look at this thing. freaking huge. That is a lot of real estate that was going to waste. But in 2013, I decided to change all that. I don't know if you can see it all the way back there. It says "Run, Terry, run" on the back of my head. That's in red dye. The lady in the picture is a friend of ours, Jackie, who's a talented hairdresser, and she's also a graphic designer. So I go to her like for special occasions, whether it's Christmas, Easter, or Canada Day, and say, just do something. And I have no idea what she's doing until she's finished. And so she came up with this. I remember this is 2013 when we had the white T-shirts, and it was a blistering hot day when I did the run. I did like 8.5K run. I came back and I was sweating like anything. And that red stuff is supposed to be permanent, but let's just say Terry ran. Okay, this is 2014, Keep Calm and Run. This was last year, 35 years and running. So this photo actually appeared in our local paper, so that's me being hugged by a woman I'm not married to. That's so marvellous. Several local events in Wilmot struggling to find volunteers to keep them running. As word started to spread about the Wilmot Terry Fox Run, people from around the township got in touch with us by phone and email asking how they could help. So all these photos from the 2015 run, plus we had dozens and dozens more, were taken by a volunteer from Baden, which is outside of New Hamburg. So that was someone who hadn't taken part before. Changing the name to Wilmot, she told us, made her feel more included and welcome. So what kind of difference did the name change and all this intense marketing make? Well, these are our participants from 2014. That's 2015. I took both these pictures, but we had our, for the second one, we had our photographer from the local paper standing next to me, and she was like trying to frame it. She goes, I can't fit them all in. As I mentioned earlier, oops. Oh, there we go. Back a bit. Can we go back? Oop. There we go. Our previous best was 3,380 in 2001. Now, this is a team from Foxburgh Green, an adult lifestyle community from outside of New Hamburg who hadn't joined us before. Again, they said that changing the name to the Wilmot Terry Fox Run made them feel included. On their own, they beat our previous record, raising $4,500 from sponsorship and their own community events like Pizza Night and Silent Auction. So this is our previous 7 years totals, and they're all over the place. We're a small community, small totals. We expected that. So that comes to, that was over 7 years. That was, yeah. This is what we raised last year. We've already started promoting this year's event with a save the date message on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our email list. We've also included news about the travelling Terry Fox exhibition running to the heart of Canada, which is currently near us at the museum in Kitchener. And if you get a chance, you really have to go and see this. You see all these iconic artifacts from the Marathon of Hope. And that's me with Darryl, who I met at the opening for the exhibition. And within a couple of hours of me posting the save the date message, a local business messaged me on Facebook offering prizes. So like Don was saying, it's like someone's offering us prizes, and I thought, well, we can't give prizes for fundraising, so I guess we're doing a silent auction. So that's a banner that I'm going to have printed up to put up at the silent auction. We've been offered several items already, and I'm contacting a load of businesses from around the township to ask for more donations. We've been told that we can have free space at our local fall fair, which takes place the day before the run and has lots of foot traffic. A friend of ours who's done dozens of silent auctions before will be looking after that for us. I also found out 2 days ago, the fall fair happens in a different part of New Hamburg from where our run takes place, but it's always the same weekend, so we're competing in two different locations. The guy who organises the fall fair said, well, why don't you start the run from the fall fair, because we have so much traffic there. When people cross the finish line, we'll stamp their hand, they can get free entrance into the fall fair, so that's an added bonus for us. We contacted a local restaurant about having a breakfast with Terry event on the morning of the run. So they'll be serving a special Terry-themed breakfast, and all proceeds will be donated to the run. So all their staff are going to be volunteering their time. They're going to be opening up early to do this. This is one of the businesses that Sharon and I are often supporting on social media personally, with lots of positive comments. Now, we're asking them for help, and they're eager to step in. That's not as calculating as it sounds. In a small town, personal and business relationships are often intertwined, and this is an example of that. I spoke to the organizer of the Wilmot Great Ride and Stride, which is a fundraiser for the Canadian Cancer Society, and he said he thinks their numbers have reached a plateau. I don't think we're there yet, but it might happen at some point, and that got me thinking about holding fundraising events outside of the run itself. I know a lot of you already do this, but this will be our first year giving that a try. So we'll be asking churches and local businesses to hold bake sales and book sales. They're all going to be small events, but a couple of $100 here and there is going to add up. I mentioned the domain name I bought for $10 and directed to our Facebook page. Now, this is a very simple web page I created, and I'm going to be pointing the web address at that this year. So that gives people information, like very brief news about what we're up to. And finally, I want to encourage you to join the Run Organisers Facebook group if you haven't already. It's such a useful resource for help and advice, or if you just want someone to bounce ideas off. So that's facebook.com/groups/Terry Fox Run. I just want to end on a personal note. My first visit to Canada was the summer of 1980, and I remember the commercials for Terry running his Marathon of Hope that were on TV. And to be standing here now, 36 years later, it feels like such a privilege and honor to be part of this wonderful group and part of this enlarged family, as it were. Another personal thing, I lost my mother to a heart attack Tuesday last week, and I set up a memorial page for her for fundraising on the Terry Fox page, on Terry Fox site, and she's already raised $880, so we're ahead of where we were last year. So, Mum, in her passing, she's actually the highest fundraising individual we've ever had. So, okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.